Hello everyone, welcome back. So tonight I have some Stenocereus queretarensis flowers that are blooming. Today's date is June 5th, 2025. So the plan is to cross-pollinate my flowers that are blooming tonight. Now, this cactus and this cactus, these are two Stenocereus queretarensis that come from the same mother plant. So unfortunately, I cannot cross-pollinate these two. I mean, even though that they're separate pots, they still come from the same mother plant, so I can't cross-pollinate them. But I do have another Stenocereus queretarensis that comes from a different mother plant that I'll be able to cross-pollinate these two Stenocereus queretarensis. I'll show you guys right now the other one. I actually didn't even notice that I had another flower blooming on this side. There's some fruit right there. Okay, so this one comes from a different mother plant. So I'm able to grab this pollen from this flower and cross-pollinate the other two Stenocereus queretarensis. Now, the Stenocereus queretarensis in Mexico, they will start to bloom like around March and April, and they'll have their fruit ready in May. Now, here in Southern California, because of the weather's a little bit different, for me, they're blooming barely in June. So hopefully we'll have the fruit ready in July or August. But right now, hopefully we get this cross-pollinated. So here I have some pollen that I have that I store in the freezer. But like I have the other Stenocereus queretarensis, I'm not gonna use it today. But whatever I have left, I'm gonna save it. Okay, so here I'm gonna use this little vacuum to suck up all the pollen. And this pollen, this is the one I'm gonna be able to use for the other two Stenocereus queretarensis. So I just wanna make sure I'm gentle with it, not damage the flower. Okay, so you can see some of the pollen right there. Hopefully I have enough for those two Stenocereus queretarensis. Let's open it up. Okay, there's the pollen right there, that kind of white powder. And I'm just gonna use this brush to collect some of the pollen. Yeah, this should be enough for those flowers that are blooming. Let me just put this down right here. I don't want to accidentally drop it. Okay, so I'm just gonna cross-pollinate a couple of these flowers just to show you guys. So that's the stigma right there, right in the center of the flower. You see, this one is actually sticking out. There's some Stenocereus queretarensis flowers that have them kind of hidden. It's kind of hard to pollinate them. And here you can see the little pollen on the brush. And I want to make sure I get it all over the stigma. Like this stigma's sticking out. I could just hold it with my finger, but sometimes they're really deep down and it's hard to get the pollen on them. Just like that, you're putting all pollen on the stigma. As you can see, I even have some on my fingers. And here I'm gonna get some more pollen. And let's see, let's go get this one over here. You can see a stigma right there, right in the center. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this one as well. So you want to be gentle, you don't want to break the stigma. So I still have pollen left for the other little flowers. I'm gonna do the exact same thing to those other flowers from these two Stenocereus queretarensis. So now I'm gonna have to collect the pollen from these two Stenocereus queretarensis that I have in the front, for I can be able to cross-pollinate the other Stenocereus queretarensis that comes from a different mother plant. Now, I did just cross-pollinated them, so the stigma right here has pollen from the other one. So I want to make sure I don't accidentally vacuum the stigma, because then I'll just take off the pollen that I just added to the stigma. So just go around the stigma, and I'm gonna do that to the other flowers as well. There we go. So the purpose for me trying to cross-pollinate them is for I can be able to get the fruit. And so this fruit, I'm gonna eat it. I'm not going to try to plant the seeds or anything. So I don't mind if like some of the pollen get mixed up in my vacuum. That's why I didn't clean it that good. Even in my little jar that I collect my pollen, I'm gonna have different pollens from different Stenocereus queretarensis, but I'll show you guys that later. So right here, I have enough pollen to cross-pollinate my flower and to save some pollen for another date. So first, let's cross-pollinate this flower. As you guys can see right there in the center, that's the stigma. This one has a stigma that's sticking out as well, so it's pretty good. Makes it a lot easier to cross-pollinate them. I just sometimes wonder why these flowers come out different, even though they're off like Stenocereus queretarensis. There's some that have bigger flowers, and there's some that the stigma sticks out a lot. There's some that the stigma is like way deep down. It's so hard to cross-pollinate them. So here I have the extra pollen that I'm going to save. So here's my little container that I have. Last year I actually had a lot of containers from each of my Stenocereus queretarensis. I make sure I didn't mix them up. But these Stenocereus queretarensis tend to give out a little bit of pollen. So this year I decided to just use one container and just mix up all the pollen together. And my goal is to just get the fruit and just to harvest the fruit and eat it and enjoy it. Now, if I was trying to obviously get the fruit and collect the seeds to germinate the seeds, then I will have to make sure I didn't mix the pollen together. Like that, I will know from what cactus from what two cactus that the seed came from. But for me right now, I'm just enjoying this fruit, so I don't mind if I mix up this pollen. At the end of the day, if I get enough pollen from a different one on a flower, it's going to be a successful pollination. So there it is, and I highly recommend you guys store some pollen. I got lucky tonight that I had two Stenocereus queretarensis that were blooming from two different mother plants, but sometimes you only have one, so you have some pollen. Oh, that's just paint. I want to make sure it's not to tell you guys that it's not blood. But yeah, I just highly recommend you guys store some of your pollen. And as you guys can see right there, that's how the fruit starts to look once you have a successful cross-pollination. And hopefully you guys like this video. If you guys have any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll respond to it as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video.